Hello, hello. So, possibly not going to be the longest stream as compared to the other 8-hour marathons. I just want to do a little bit of programming to get back into the saddle. Without further ado, boop. This is probably full screen. Yeah, this is full screen. 1 second. Oh, is it not capturing that now? Oh, what did I screw up? 1 second. Oh, no. Should be in here somewhere. Where are you? Ah, okay. I had it turned off. That's why. Oop. There we go. Back to studio. Lots of errors. Okay. So, this is my little background. Or not background. This is my little kit that I've been using to make some programming as of late, because I need to make some tools, and I've actually been splitting things up properly, which, I say, but we had touched this a while ago. Second. Had made this little thing that, just to show off some map scrolling. But that is able to at least be easily changed by flipping what main renderer is being used, what loops are being used, and whatever. So, had basic input, output, throw sprites on the screen, all I really want. And now I want to try and figure out what's the best way to do a menu system. Because that's always a painful thing. You get paid for that. Terrible thing to get paid for. And without further ado, because I always look at Dragon Warrior, or Dragon Quest. So this can be set up in a few different ways. One is actually to have XY point for the cursor, i.e. this is 0. Well, that's not the best color. Will you work? Yeah, this is 0, this is 1. And you go down the list. I don't consider that the greatest for this. The alternative is to have everything indexed. So you just keep track of one number and just wrap across. This, once you get that working, it works. But sometimes it causes a little bit of pain. Now, beyond that, the data structure on the back end is what I've been trying to muse over a little bit. So, for the most part, you would think simply just have text on there. But then we get into things like shops, where they have to display other stuff. Now, you could just have the text go all the way over, have it show up that way, or you could store something in there and have the rendering system display that as well. 56, 56, yeah, let's get it on there. So currently the structure I'm thinking of is having a struct, which is to say have cheap classes. Won't keep track of what ID it is, but we'll keep track of a display ID. Have some sort of value on there. If it's 0 or if the actual display uses it, up to another thing. And then have a select enum, I'm guessing. And I think that's small as I can get to there. And then I just have an array of those and I set that up. So without further ado, into the code mines. 1 second, need to make a new thing. We'll call it, because I remember. There we go. New file, we'll call it Did I... Wait, where is it? I hate the buttons that go across the screen. Okay, can I just click that? Okay. Menu data, header, because I'm a terrible monster who makes everything in the main header. 1 second, let me, where's my main header? Okay, I don't have that open. Include... Oh, I don't have that set up this way. Okay. Anyways. Everything wants to shove AI into everything? Okay. I do need to have the string stuff. 1 second. Let me just grab that from over here. Ba-da-da-da. Good enough. Get in here. Don't need to think anymore. Struct, so we'll have menu data. And as said before, display text, int amount can be used for different things, and int guess you could call it menu action, sure. Boop. Of that. Constant max menu equals Dragon Quest. Actually, how much has Dragon Quest had? At least for the next version. Boop, boop, boop. So this is kind of the biggest menu, because I'm not even sure if the inventory exceeded this, and that's just 8. Dragon Quest is very weird early on with having very limited inventories. Basically, every character had their own inventory, which kind of carried along into other games, or into later games. Can't remember. Did Final Fantasy have that? I think they might have had a main party inventory that you had to do some weird things to equip into player one, but it's been a while. Anyways. So, we have all this set up. And just to make sure that we're able to access it, because I just live on globals for everything at this moment, because why bother making it harder for myself? Menu data array, max menu so that I can change it later, and default initialization, default menu data for int index equals 0, index less than max menu, blah blah. This is just some basic setters and getters. Though I get to do the utterly horrific menu data array index, and just do that. I think that works. Nope, I'm not. Might be able to do this though. Yeah. Probably not the best way to do that. Let's be proper and actually just zero it out. Oops, wrong button. So, as I was saying, this, I'm trying to get the minimal setup for this. Okay, void set menu index int index Standard string display int amount equals 0. No, actually, int menu action. Boop. And literally I can just copy paste this. Now the rendering isn't hard. We already kind of done that before with the scroll that we have in this, so that we could just, you know, shove stuff into the render system. Yeah, begin here. So we had this and we had scroll lines, and you could just remove text and add text. It's going to be a similar thing for the rendering where it just goes down the list and just, well, renders it. So I'm going to steal this from over here. Probably I'm going to have to, there we go. That's what we need. Don't need the rest. Pop up. Keep this down here. I'm going to be adding a few other things, but render menu int x int y. I'll add other options later as for, like, you know, display amount. Oops. For that. But otherwise, this should be enough to get me started. Then I can add a few other things, such as just a simple little navigation system. Well, let me find the right button because I've lost where everything is. Okay. So, let's just steal a bit more from that. Technically, we could use a lot of this, but they are, you know, technically completely different things. But I will just go, oop. And I will use this XY, this Y, max menu, render. This will be a single line menu. And it will go through the menu data. Index.display text. Now, since our system can do a few different things, I'll import it to this, the menu stuff. And over in main, I will include menu stuff because I have to set up things. Probably should be for the heartbeat render. Okay, test battle loop, test map, void test menu. And we will keep this same junk. We'll get to the controller yet, but we will do the display things. We'll just do it raw in here because, yeah. What did I call it? Render... Nope, that's not the right one. That's the right one. Let's move you over a little bit so that I can work with you next to where I need to be. Okay, 8080 sounds good. And just so I don't have to do it in the main thing. Literally in the main thing, in the main file. Or no, 0, A, 1, 0, 1, B. I'll improve on this in a second. So now that I have that, I could go over here and do that, compile it. We should have a menu. Oh, I blew up everything. Oh, I'm loading it twice. Okay, 1 second. I believe this is where I need to param, so it doesn't try to compile multiple times because it's being loaded multiple times. Oop. There we go. See, that was all I needed to do. Okay, I hit the button. I should have something on screen. Nope. Did I forget something important? Oh, yeah, I probably, yeah, I forgot something important. I forgot the actual blitting to the screen. Whoops. So this is getting rendered, but it's not getting rendered to the screen. Let's get the top level heartbeat, and then all these other renders will have at the bottom of them. There we go. Yep. This is just a test right now, so I don't really care, but I want to get all this stuff in there. I haven't memorized this by heart yet. Okay. There we go. We hit the button. And we have A and B. Not very useful right now, but we can add something in here. Have it be int menu cursor 0. And from there, we can have a basic menu up and down. Oh, it's the thing I'm trying to get was trying to get across, but I did not actually get in here. Is that this is all the same menu? Like this is technically a menu, the same menu as this. It's just it's divided differently. This blitz from the left side, all the text, and it doesn't have that cursor, and the amount it blitz from the right side. So it does 0 first, then 1, yada yada, which is kind of a backwards way to do it, but it's possible, but it's not the worst. This is also the same menu system. I don't know if it would actually display the cursor up here from your main command one. I think it very specifically covers up everything. Otherwise, you would see... Yeah, this is kind of funny. If this is working from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is covering up 0 and 1 because this command screen is possibly still updating, and you would see the cursor move around on it. They might be doing it smarter where they don't actually update this, and the only thing they're updating is this section of the screen, and maybe this section down here. But Dragon Quest and Dragon Warrior specifically had the sprites move, so everything might be getting updated. But this feels like it's trying to cover where the little selector arrow would be. Anyways. But yeah, it's the combat menu, it's the shop menu, it's the main text menu. But anyways. Okay, I'm going to actually be making a couple of these. I'm covering my bases right now. Menu width equals 1. Okay. Menu cursor plus plus, menu cursor mod equals max menu. This will allow it to wrap around. Don't need to do anything more. Menu cursor. This one I actually don't know if negatives property modules right. So if menu cursor is less than 0, menu cursor equals max menu plus menu cursor. Could just be menu minus 1, but in case like it's somehow further down. Now this is where it's going to get interesting. If menu width equals 1, one line menu, menu cursor equals 0, else menu cursor plus menu max menu divide by menu width, menu cursor mod equals same thing as up there. This will pay off in a minute, hopefully. Max menu minus 1. Now this one definitely needs to work off that, what I had before. It's not an off by 1 system. Please, thank you. Since it's going to be negative, adding that will just bring it around. Okay, so we have all that junk set up. Now, if index equals menu cursor, render text, main render, font texture, X minus glyph width, Y line int. We should do this properly. Index times line Y. And I can just use this. I can make it fancy and animated later, but for right now, that'll do. So if I compile this, we'll have something sit at 0. Did I forget? I forgot. There we go. You happy? You happy? There we go. We have this sitting over here now. Now, back in the heartbeat, since we have to actually do some stuff. If main controller dot up menu or cursor up, move cursor up, else if main controller control dot down, move cursor down, else if main control or dot right, move cursor right, I typoed. Of course I did. Okay, get back over here. Else if main controller dot left, all the boring stuff. All the boring stuff nobody ever wants to program. Nope. I can't spell. How do I get work in this industry? Sheer luck. Okay. Are you happy? You're happy. Now that we run this, we can... Woohoo! Moving at the speed of light. However, left and right puts it where it's supposed to be. Now, if we have a limited menu, we might want to, you know, work off that. So, first off, mod 32 equals 1. Since this is updated every frame, I can cheat. And every 32 frames, it will accept it incrementing. So this will now be sane. I should also flip up and down. Yeah, this feels backwards. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Everything working. And now I need to have int current menu max equals 0. We'll get to that in a second. And now I'm going to go through the boring stuff of bop, bop, and change all these to be current menu max. And add a new thing of, first off, void add new menu. This will be the same as over here, however, for int index equal. That's so funny, and I should do it more. So this little thing, this little horrible thing when you declare a variable, this just means set it all to 0. And you can do it with anything. So it's real funny to do it with ints, because they're so primitive, you don't think that should work. Anyways, index is less than max menu, index plus plus, if menu data array index does not equal empty. I think that works. Oh no, dot display text does not equal. Continue. Otherwise, we are going to set menu. Oh no, this is actually really low level. It might actually be in C. It's just the sane way to do this int index equals 0 is very explicit, but this works for everything. You can make a string text and just go with that. So it isn't reading trash data, because if you just go like this, which you perfectly can, or you don't go like that, this is actually setting up a pointer in your memory that's pointing to anything. It's whatever the allocator says. Your pointer location is now this. And that's going to have trash data sitting there. This is like the majority of server hacks is based around trying to get what the server returns to go outside the range it's supposed to return, like chunks of chunks of its memory. It's like what Heartbleed was, is that there's a bit of a memory leak if you did things right, where it would return more text or more data from its RAM that you're supposed to get, because it sets up this like little text array and like, here's what it is, but it gets past that. And it gets like all the other fun stuff, which can get into passwords and other credentials. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's just proper memory management to always zero out what you just start with. And I'm just doing it in a very silly way. Where was I? Ah, yes. So we want to set the menu at our current index to display amount menu action, and then we want to set current menu max equals index, and then break, or then return. So what this does is every time we add a new one, it updates the index. Technically it could fall off the end of the array, and I might want to do some asserts with that, but I say. So now we go back to this. And the proper way to do this now is to not even bother having the indexes in there and let our system do it. So now that we go back to this, are broke. 1 second. Oh, wait, I should probably default to first. Nope. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Time to debug. So we add a new menu. Current max is being updated. So let's go to down. Oh, I know what's going on. So I'm doing it by index, but it should be index plus 1. Classic off by 1 error. Nope. Or was I just too quick when I ran it? Nope. Okay. Time to do some debug. Oh, wait. What am I doing? There we go. There. So basically, I was making it so that max menu would be 1. And everything modulos 1 is the same value that is like a 0. So nothing happened. And then we can continue to add more junk to this. C, D, E. Room. And now we have this. When it jumps to the start or end, it's because I'm hitting left and right. Now then, fancy stuff. Menu width, 1 second. So what else do I need for this? So what I'm thinking on right now is how to do a split menu, like this one. So I guess I'm going to have some sort of maximum text so that it'll like start writing over here. So I'm going to call it menu text offset. And let's set it to 10, and because, you know, old systems used to do everything in 8 characters. Excuse me. And we are going to have void default split menu data int item width, i.e. how many across, and we're going to have a default for text size, and that's just going to equal 10 for now. All this is going to do is call this up and set some variables for the other ones. Menu width equals item width and menu text offset equals text size. Yeah, I don't think I need to do anything more than that. Void render multi-line menu. And for the most part, it's going to be exactly the same. Except where it isn't. Line x equals 0. And this is actually going to change based on, oops. Index is the only one that matters in this. Oops. Thought I had it in here. Nope, up here. So now when it, like, if we divide this by 4, since the menu only has 8, and we have 2 rows of this, every 4 we have to move over 1. So when we move over 1, we have to default the y to equal 0. So max, oops, menu, divide by menu width. Also, same thing over here. Line x equals x plus index divided by max menu. If I want to be more efficient, I get the magic numbers made above this. Width. Times menu x offset. Yeah, there it is. Text offset. And we just go down here. Place all our instances. Oh, please. Oh, thank you. I really need to figure out a way to actually just disable completely. Or at least make the timer take longer for Hey, why don't I tell you all this information? Like, it's not too bad on these, but when you use actual, like, yeah, that. Cover up everything you're looking at and trying to reference it. It annoys me to no end. It's worse for official ones, which I probably can't find in here, but that should solve that. So now that we have this, we're going to default. What do I call it? Split menu. Okay, fine. And we're going to have it be... Can you at least give me the hints? Like, the only time I want the hints is when I'm actually working on it and not hovering over it. So this is going to have a width of 2, and the rest of that's fine. Boop, boop, okay. Oh, it also helps if I display it. Probably the worst name there. Okay. Well, it's acting a little funky. We're getting closer. So this feels like it... Oh yeah, this isn't even being rendered all the way over there. Interesting. Okay, this one was going to be the one that was going to get weird. Oh, yeah, first off... Oh. It might help. Times glyph width. So now it'll be more than 1 pixel. Well, it's kind of working, though. It's all the way over there, and I think that's a bit more than it should be. It should be 10 characters, so it should be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's way over there. Left and right is not working as expected. I want to take a look at the left and right. Current menu max. No, I think this should be menu max. No, max menu. Also, this would break if I have multiple menus up that don't use... Well, I could... If they don't use the same... Okay, this would always function. The arrows would not work, or the selector wouldn't work between them, but I shouldn't render the selector anyways when I'm doing a menu on top of it, but... Menu cursor greater or equal than to current menu max. Menu cursor equals current I'll let that stick for a second. I'm not going to fix that. Let's just add F and see if that messes me. I'll need to think on that in a bit. It shouldn't be too hard of a thing. Yeah, that just returns it to 0. Interesting. Alright, let's actually figure out what the heck is going on. I think it's just multiplying things poorly. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. So line X, we get our base point of X and Y, so that's expected. Then we get our offset. So when you run through a two-dimensional list, or okay, all lists are effectively two-dimensional lists, or like any n-dimensional list if you look at it right. So this is equivalent to this, which is what we have right now. It's just how we're displaying it differs, which also is technically equivalent to this. It's just we're going like this and wrapping around up here instead of going this way. That's generally what I use for rendering roguelike maps to the screen. So in order for these numbers to work, we have to reset them, the X and Y. So our X is equal to our current index. I'm going to just put down I. Modulos. Or no, sorry, not modulos. No, actually it is modulos. 2 right now. And our Y position is equal to I divided by 2. So every 2 we move down, it goes back up. So 0, 1. Oh, am I thinking this right? Or am I doing this backwards? This happens every once in a while. It's happening because I'm doing it different than this way. No, I think I do have it backwards. Okay. Okay, that is my bad. So, this should be divide, and this should be modules. Oh no, I did have this correct. I had these backwards though. So every 2 it goes down, it moves over 1. So that is correct. So on 0, this is 0 times nothing. On 1, this is also 0. So times nothing. Then on 3, it becomes 1. And times all this. Because we're truncating because these are integers. This should still work because we get 1, then that's times 10, and that's times... Well, let's just hard code this to be 16 for a second. Nope, still way over there. I mean, if I chop this off, it's only going to move it over 1 character. At least it should. Yeah. Or am I just wrong in thinking that room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is 10 long, and we'll just copy paste that into the rest of them. Maybe it is correct, and it's just we're vastly underestimating how much space is required. Okay, so we have that. That's been fixed up. Nope, it's not vastly underestimating how much space is required. It's just really throwing that over there. Okay, so is there anything more? No. Line X is being read. Put at the correct location. So this is becoming 4. So if our index is 5, divided by 4, we are... Am I mathing right? Probably not. Those. Oh, this is in Python. So 0 gets us... Okay, first off, let's get us menu. What are we going to call this? Column size is equal to this. Because that's correct to begin with. Presumably. Is it possible that we're losing precision and it's doing some weird things? I made the assumption that it's going left to right in that. Let's just, okay. Don't have to worry about that. So we have 0. And our menu width is 2. So our column size is equal to 8 divided by 2. So that's 4. So at 0, divide by 4 equals 0. 0 mod by 4 equals 0. Okay, that checks out. 1 divided by 4 equals 0. 1 mod 4 equals 1. That checks out. 2 divided by 4 equals 0, because we're using integers. 2 mod 4 equals 2. 3 mod 4, yada yada, you're getting the idea of it. Now here's where it gets interesting, because 4 over 4 equals 1. 4 mod 4 equals 0. So we are getting 1. Our offset is 10 times 16. So that's 160 over. That should be right. Oh! Oh! No. No, it should be that. So we're getting 1 times that. I hesitate to do a standard output because it's just going to be a bunch of spam, but I think we're going to have to do it. Index. Line X. I think I can do that too. I was reading something on that. Oh, got to do the proper escape character for the escape character so I can escape character right on the output. Okay, fine. I don't care. Standard out. I just need it to return. What? Oh, whoops. That's why. Okay, I hit the button. Okay. And results say... the following. So index 0, line X is 80, 80, 80. Because it's coming in as 80. So 80, so minus 80. Don't do math on stream. It's 160. But it still seems like it's flinging it way the heck more out there. So it should be 160, but it doesn't look like it's 160. Let me turn that off for a second. Yeah, because all it should be doing is basically moving these, but over this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It should actually be parking it like right on top of that. And just screw it. Yeah, please. Oh, yeah, please add that little thing there so I have to immediately delete it so that I can do that. It helps so much when you auto-complete my things I'm trying to comment out. So it is doing exactly what is expected. Is my font smaller than I expect? My font is smaller than I expect. I have 8 size font, not 16. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's go back in here. Shave off. That. Always try and remember your things. Whoops, I didn't hit compile. Compile would really help with this. Okay, so we compile. So now that we got our new numbers. And look at that. So I need to figure out why my left and right is not working as expected. And technically, I should also be looping up and down on that if I have a multi-system. Or splitting the... whatever. Okay. So when we hit right... max cursor... oh. That would help immensely to actually update the value instead of just letting it do nothing. So it's trying its darnest, but it's not actually making it all the way. So I'm hitting right, and it's moving it down 2. That is incorrect. It should be moving it down 4. So this is 8, and this is coming in as 4 for the... This is being divided by 2. Let me just see. Cursor in. See if that works. Yep, I've not finished typing my line. Please yell at me for not being fast enough to have all that perfection in. Shut up and let me actually... It's the underline. It annoys me. I literally don't like my entire GUI being a Christmas tree as I type, because it's recalculating how it's making errors everywhere else. I wish I could, like, have it settle for, like, 5 seconds after I'm done typing. Till 5 seconds after I'm done typing, but nope. Okay, and... offset. Boop, boop. Probably some way to do it, but I honestly don't trust anything anymore because you're a single update away from it not working. So don't rely on something that's going to go away like any time. I've been bitten by that too much and become reliant on that. Okay, so /n doesn't actually work. Are you okay, that's... Boop. Weird. I should put it on the right one, because that one I can visualize more, and left seems to be just... Do I have these backwards? Oops. Let me copy paste. Don't give me toast on everything. Okay. I think effectively I have these backwards. Yeah, I do. Oop. So if I'm going right, I am increasing it. Yeah, I have these backwards. Okay, so... Yep, I have it open. Please. Okay. Clear screen. Cursor out 4. Yeah, that wouldn't be doing it. Max menu. Okay, let's try this again. Nope, I didn't close it. Okay, classic mistake. Let's turn that off for a second. It's going to do something horrible in a minute. Working as expected. Back is going. It's just the check on the forward that's doing some weird things. Okay, let's not do the weird setup and do menu cursor mod. That's maybe modules equals is not in. Okay, yeah, modules equals is just not in here. Okay, cool. And just have a little check if menu data array menu cursor dot display text does not equal or equals menu cursor minus you got to go back. So you can't select, or at least I should be trying to make it so you can't select. Works fine going this way, but then going this way goes a bit weird. Yeah, so I can't hit right that way. But I can hit right that way. So what are you doing? Oh, that's why. That is why. And then we just do the inverse up there. Probably could do this better, but hey. Boop. And if I really want to be fancy, I should be having this wrap around on the proper sides. Ugh. Do I want to bother? Well, I have a lot of time left. This has only been like, what, an hour? So I probably should. Okay. So, one line menu. Menu spelled wrong, as is tradition. What the heck was that? Okay, anyways. Boop, boop, boop. Yep. It's very important that I know it's an int. Can't actually click and paste it down. Fuck, I hate toasts. Okay. So the situation is that we're going down and we want to say in our same row. So we do this. They're real thinking hard here. Well, we can get its x and y values, so aha. Int y equals menu cursor mod. We did this all up here. Room. Mod that. int x equals menu cursor, divide that. Y plus plus y equals y modules that menu cursor equals x or y plus x times that. And that's our silly formula. Okay. And over on this one, it's going to be the same thing, except it's going to be going down. If y less than 0, y equals, whoops, that's not what I wanted to copy, -1. And then you reconstitute that and everything's fine. I have been too long in the roguelike trenches. Yep, that works. Now the only thing we need to do is have it wrap around properly for if it is on a unselectable spot. Though I suppose that should be some sort of option. But yeah. I'm trying to think if in Dragon Quest there was time. Well, there was in either Final Fantasy or one of the Dragon Quests a secret shop item, which was a shop item that had no text on it, but it was just in the middle of everything. But that's just a blank square, or that's just a single white space character. Okay, anyways. No. That was part of a secret quest where you had to buy that item in order to progress, and it was like hinted at it being in the store. Am I not being tracked right? Ah, there you go. Weird. I forgot what it was for even, or which game it was. All the NES shopping sprees kind of. How should I put it? Blend together. Okay, so I want to do something horrible, and I'm going to just recurse this because I don't want to bother. I generally don't like recursing because it's not free memory. It's just taking up memory on the stack, and I'd rather not do that, but I'm tired. So, okay. If menu data array menu cursor dot display text equals blah blah. Let's do the time warp again. Now, this is an infinite loop if somehow you get into a row that has this. That's why I don't want to do it, but I want to do it right. But that means I basically rewrite this. I mean, that isn't too much. Technically, I have the X and Y. Okay. Wow. Or, if menu data array menu cursor dot display text equals, well, we get into here. And then for index offset, actually no, this should equal 1. Or no, int offset. Not index, why am I thinking index? Offset is less than or equal to, because we have a 1 in there. This. Offset plus plus. So y minus minus. We recalculate the curse this. If this does not equal 0, we break early. So what this does is basically, it just moves it up by 1. It goes, oh no, we have that problem. So we go to here. Actually, I think we don't even need to bother with that because we aren't doing anything. Yeah, okay, anyways. Okay, so move it up 1, recalculate. Is that a problem? And then, oh yeah, I also need to do this. Yeah, we are basically just redoing everything, and I hate when I do that, but I'll live. And then we do it the same for the downside. Literally copy paste. Except this time it's plus plus, and we use more modules math. Boop. You could probably more elegantly do something. I'm not in the brain space for that. So yep, so as you see, that wraps around to the top and that wraps around to the bottom. If we added another one, say G into the mix, G, we go over here and we wrap around. Very useful. Oh, that one disappeared. We have a bug. Okay, so maybe the left side isn't working as expected. The right is. Left just goes into nothing. Cursor out equals -1. Fancy. Okay, so move left. Whoop. Move cursor left. That's a bit strange. Standard, cout, got in here. Let's see if it indeed gets in there. So I go down, I hit left, and it gets in there. Okay, if it got in there, what's... Interesting. Okay. So it sets it to 11 now. Am I just being silly? So we get over here. Yes, please. Don't hover over anything or it's going to cover up things and you're going to be confused. So it gets into there. We take our menu cursor. We add to it. We probably should be doing the same loop as we were doing before, but I don't think we're going to have menus bigger than 2 columns. So it adds that column width to it. So -1. So I think this should work. So it takes the max menu, modded by, or no, menu cursor mod by max menu. Because it's literally going off the end, and the only place, yeah, that fixed it. So basically, it's getting to here, and then it's adding one more. So it's like sitting right over here. And because we don't have the wraparound, it doesn't get back that. Okay, crisis averted. I was paid to program some menus at one point, and it just sucks. This is why everybody uses all the same menus, because they don't want to do this all day and figure out all the weird little stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I spent an hour and a half, and I already have it working basically at full capacity. Now then, I say that, but I should work on showing the amount stuff. So let's go back here. Nope. There you are. Okay, one second. I'm going to add a flag into here. Bool display value. Most of the time you aren't actually going to be doing this. Let me get this thing, move it over slightly. So I have this flag now. Now I'm rendering this data. I also want to render the amount. If we have our flag, I'm also going to add a secondary thing in here. It's only going to be useful for... Okay, we're making an int. Display value offset. It's going to be set to 0. But if it's set to anything, it's going to display after that. So let's go with it. Now then, our render x is equal to x plus display value offset times glyph width, which is 8. So this is all the way at its furthest thing. Okay. So we're going to need to get rid of 1. And then we're going to need to get rid of how many tens digits there are. I'm trying to think of how to math that out. I can think of a really stupid way to math that out, but there has to be a better one. So I'm going to go to the internet and see if there's a formula. And then I'll just take that formula. Formula for counting how many tens digits there are. I don't know. Because I can't just divide it by 10. I could do this a really stupid way and convert it to a string and count its length. For how many digits in a number. So right now I'm just getting Excel stuff, which is sort of useful. Count digits. Iterate, remove digits using recursion, use the log base 10. Yeah, okay. Minus standard string dot standard to string. Oh, this is ugly. This is so ugly and dumb. Actually, I'll need the string. So let's just steal the display value. Like so. Display value dot length. Is that how you do it? It wasn't giving me any help on there with the only time I wanted to pop up stuff. Do I have to do it outside of that or else? Because... oh no, it's probably done because of that. Yeah, okay. Yep, okay. There we go. Oh, it was amount. Okay, so we get that. We get how many digits to go back, and then we just blit it in. Render text. Main render font. Yada yada. Render X, Y. Or line Y. And then display value. Kind of dumb. Let's go back to here. Default menu. It's no longer split. There we go. And it's not rendering. Oh, yeah, because it helps if I actually put something in here. So I put in 10. 10 for the left, for the offset. This feels familiar. Value offset. Ah, that's why. It should be char width because we're actually using 8. Yeah, okay. And because we're also doing that, we should skip this. If continue. There we go. And the fun thing about this, if we change this to be like 200, it should be writing from, effectively from right to left because we're offsetting it by its size. So yeah. Okay, so we just need to import the system over to the split one. There we go. Also add over here if menu data array index dot display text equals blank. Continue, because we don't need to math hammer all that. And then we can just literally copy all this junk. Anything else we need to think of? Well, first off, we need to use that because we move left and right. Okay. Come back in here. Set this to split. Menu of 2. And set this to render multi-line menu like that. Let's see how badly this breaks. Oh, terrible. Ugly. Did not save? Why are you yelling? Oh, wow, thank you. Very useful. Okay. Amazing. Look at that. Now, we probably... This shows that we might want to offset one little bit more. Or, in reality, when we, Oh! So that's why that always looks a little bit... Okay. Okay, I fixed that. I don't know if plus one-ing that will help it out. Whoops. That turned off. 1 second. There we go. I think plus one-ing it might fix it for this, but not if we have more than two columns in a menu. Which I'm not planning on. That was not the thing. What did I just undo? Okay, Control Y until I see what happened. Probably easier to just go in here. Split data. And make this like 12. Yeah, much easier. Okay, I might just call this a stream because I got everything I wanted done. Would there be anything else I'd like to put in here? I mean, I could draw the little boxes around there, but that's more per game than anything else. Let's move this over. Wow. 4080. There we go. I mean, it's the boxes that go around it are always going to be determined by what I'm actually doing, because I like to properly do this, I need to render a background color around it, but I can estimate and like do all that stuff. Yeah, it's going to, and then also it's going to be like, you know, like in here, is this on top? It's not on top. In here, we do have like that little thing in the middle, which I can do, but like they don't have it in this one. It's technically in this one. It's all up to whatever's going on at once, which is not what I'm going for. This needs to be the most generic thing, and then I just work in whatever else needs to be in that. So I might call it a short one and continue resting my throat after all the crap I did to it, and the weather change is still wreaking a bit of havoc on it. Don't think I need to go in and see anything for it, but we'll see. So that, as I said, is going to be a rather quick one. I did what I set to accomplish, and I'm not going to be making Dragon Warrior sitting in the stream right now. So I'm going to call it a day. Probably next week I will be doing... I don't think I'll be continuing this. I might be doing some more modeling stuff, though. See about doing another one from scratch or doing a simpler one, or who knows. I'll figure it out between now and then. With that, I'm going to call it a day, and I will see you next week. Or a good time of day. Either way, till next time.